There's a conversation that almost every family has to have eventually. It's that really tough one about how to best care for an aging parent. And almost every time it starts with a bunch of questions that are, well, they're well intentioned for sure, but they're just not the full picture.
I mean, you know the ones, right? What kind of care does mom really need? Can we handle this with home care, or is it time for assisted living? And look, don't get me wrong, these are absolutely the right questions to be asking. They're critical, but they're only half the story.
Because way too often, that other huge question, and how are we going to pay for all this, it gets kind of tacked on at the very end. It's treated like an afterthought.
And that right there is the whole problem. We are asking these questions in completely the wrong order. The financial strategy can't be some detail you figure out later. It has to be woven into that very first conversation about care, right from the get-go.
All right, let's break this down because this is so important. When the money part is an afterthought, families often get backed into a corner. They're forced to make these huge, irreversible decisions while they're under incredible emotional stress. And that's what we call a crisis-driven decision.
Okay, so here's how this usually plays out, and it happens all the time. A family gets the news that a loved one needs specialized long-term memory care. The pressure is on, and they make a snap judgment, a gut reaction. Okay, we've got to sell the house to pay for this. So the sale happens really fast, and it's only after everything is signed, sealed, and delivered that the real nightmare begins, when they discover the absolutely devastating financial fallout, like a massive and completely unexpected tax bill.
And the truly heartbreaking part? This happens to families who are just trying to do the right thing. I mean, they have the best intentions. As memory care consultant Luciana Mitzkin puts it, these good intentions can accidentally lead to huge financial losses. And the irony is, that financial loss can actually hamstring their ability to pay for that care in the long run.
So where does this huge financial loss come from? Well, it often boils down to one single, tragically overlooked factor. It's this key piece of the financial puzzle that, honestly, if you understand it, it changes absolutely everything for your family's strategy.
So let's pull back the curtain on this. This is the hidden tax reality that every single family who's on this journey needs to know about.
Okay, so this big concept is called the step up in cost basis. Now, what does that mean? Well, to put it simply, when heirs inherit a house, the IRS basically hits a reset button. For tax purposes, the home's value isn't what was paid for it, say 30 or 40 years ago. Instead, its value gets stepped up to whatever it's worth on the day the owner passes away. So you can see here, there are two completely different paths you can take. Path one, sell the house while the owner is still alive. If you do that, you're likely going to get hit with a capital gains tax on all that value the house has gained over the decades. But path two, the heirs inherit the home and then sell it. That's when the magic of the step-up happens, and it can slash that tax bill way down, or even get rid of it completely. And let's be crystal clear about the stakes here. We are not talking about a small chunk of change. In many places, for a home that's been in the family for a long, long time, making the wrong choice here could literally mean losing over $200,000 to taxes you didn't have to pay. That's not just a number on a spreadsheet. That's years of high-quality care just gone. So, how do you avoid that massive tax hit? It all starts with a mental shift. You have to start seeing the family home differently. It's not a piggy bank you just smash open when there's an emergency. It's a financial anchor. It's probably your single biggest asset. And the key is to leverage it, not just liquidate it in a panic. Right? So here's the bottom line. The goal shouldn't just be get cash quick. The real goal, the smarter goal, is to access liquidity. That's the cash you need for care while holding on to ownership of the house. That way, you get to keep those incredible tax advantages in your back pocket. And the great news here is that you have options. This isn't an all-or-nothing deal. Instead of that panicked rushed sale, you can look into things like a home equity line of credit or maybe a strategic refinance. You could even explore turning the house into a rental property to create an income stream. The point is, there are creative ways to do this. The most important thing is to talk to the right advisors before you make a choice that you can't take back. And that brings us to what might be the single most important part of this whole puzzle. You don't have to figure this out on your own. In fact, you shouldn't. Building an expert team around you, well, it's absolutely essential. There's a great quote from senior care strategist Jessica Solomon. She says that families often learn about the cost of care through collision. Think about that. It's like they're driving blind until they crash into the reality of the costs. By then, it's often too late. The catastrophic decisions have been made. Your expert team is like your navigation system, helping you see the road ahead and avoid that crash.
See, your care plan, it's not just about care. It's a financial plan, it's a real estate plan, it's all of those things rolled into one. And that's why you need a team of specialists who can see the whole board, not just one piece.
First up, you've got your care advisor. This person is your guide, your navigator through the super confusing world of care options. They're the expert who helps you figure out what's best, from in-home help to a specialized facility based on what your loved one actually needs. Then you need a financial planner. This is the person who looks at the long game. They're the ones who can map out the potential costs of care over many years and help you build a financial plan that's actually sustainable, one that's not going to fall apart down the road. And finally, you need a real estate specialist. And please hear this, their job is not just to stick a for sale sign on the lawn. A real specialist in this area helps you understand all the different ways you can use the property, selling, renting, refinancing, to make sure it's working as hard as it can for your family's goals. And when you get these 3 experts in a room working together for you, that's when the magic happens. They take that tangled, overwhelming mess of questions and turn it into a clear, step-by-step plan. They give you the clarity you need to make smart decisions that protect not just your finances, but your family's peace of mind too. So, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Families don't just need help finding care. They desperately need help protecting the resources that are going to pay for that care. You simply cannot separate the two. They have to be tackled together.
And so that leaves us with one last really critical question that you should be asking yourself or your family. Is the conversation you're having about care a complete conversation? Does it go beyond just the immediate needs and include the smart financial strategy that's going to support your loved one for all the years to come?